Turn to M3 and Karen B for this week's episode of Comply on the Fly. You'll get quick and timely answers to the most common compliance questions so you and your business can keep moving ahead. Please note this podcast and the contents herein do not constitute legal advice. Please seek the advice of counsel for any benefit compliance related implementation guidance or strategy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen B, and the Comply on the Fly question of the week is, what are my two policy options under the vaccine mandate or OSHA ETS? This question is about the choice that you as an employer must make in terms of implementing the COVID-19 vaccination requirement. Just as a quick review, remember that OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, which is an arm or agency under the Department of Labor, issued an ETS, or Emergency Temporary Standard, for private employers with 100 or more employees to require a vaccination of those employees. We did cover the topic of who is subject to this ETS in a previous podcast. So if that is still an open question for you, please visit the Insight Center on m3ins.com for that podcast. If you are subject to the ETS, then you next have to determine if you are going to implement a straight up vaccination requirement or if you're going to allow for vaccination or testing and masking. So option one, a straight up requirement to be vaccinated. Simply, you require employees to provide proof of vaccination. You allow exemptions as required by law. That would be religious, medical, disability, and that is about it. You will need to have a process to review, of course, those exemption requests and make reasonable accommodations. Many employers previously adopted mandatory vaccination policies that will satisfy the requirements of this option. The other option, option two, is the vaccination requirement with testing and masking options for the unvaccinated. Under this option, employers can choose to allow unvaccinated employees to get tested on a weekly, and that means 7-day basis, and to wear a face mask while at work with other employees. Employers do not have to pay for the test, but could opt to do so. Only unvaccinated employees are required to wear face masks under this option. Exceptions would be if the employee is in a completely closed space with a closed door, while eating or drinking for a limited time, when the employee is wearing a respirator, or if the use of a face mask is infeasible or creates hazard. There are exceptions. Employees that work 100% remotely. That means they don't report to an office space. They don't come in where other employees are. They work 100% remote. Also, 100% outdoor employees. In order to be considered an outdoor employee, the employee has to be outside for all work days, not occupy vehicles with other employees. And the space, that outdoor space, truly has to be outdoors. It cannot be some semi-confined space. Of course, if any of these employees come into the workspace, the testing and masking requirements would apply. Also exempt or accepted from the requirement would be workers covered by the healthcare ETS. Depending on what options you choose, you will need to have a written policy and communicate this policy to employees by December 5th, 2021. Please visit m3ins.com for our COVID-19 ETS toolkit that includes sample policies, notices, forms, and a lot of other helpful resources. And, of course, stay tuned. We will continue to keep an eye on the legal challenges and any other developments with this ETS. And that is our Comply on the Fly question of the week. Thanks for tuning in.
What's on your mind? If you have a pressing compliance question, send it to askkarenb@m3ins.com. We'll do our best to cover it in an upcoming episode of Comply on the Fly. Make sure to tune in next week and encourage others to join us.